Oh, Daniel. Hey, Daniel. Come here. Hey, welcome everybody. Be comfortable. We got a few minutes. We're waiting for people to come in, and Vincent's getting ready, but you guys are awesome, so just kind of get used to being here with each other, and we'll start the service momentarily, but really, really glad everybody's here. So take some deep breaths and get used to the space and being with each other. And all of Vincent's friends, wave your hand if you're a Vincent friend. Hi, guys. Good to see y'all. Welcome to CRC. What do you got? Come here, bud. Oh, got it. David is sheet, right? So first, you have your list? Yep. So firstly, Uncle John is not here, but Golda is. Golda was Vincent's tutor.
Golda, what's your favorite name?
Golda.
It's very original.
Golda.
But
Yep.
Wolf, it's like wolf but with a V. Wolf Tzvi Itka.
Itka?
Eat, yeah. And we never know how to spell it exactly.
Great.
And can I just say how excited I am that you write
Thank you.
Sina Elohim tfilati, Sina Elohim tfilati, Yana titalam, Yana titalem, Betchinati, Yana titalem, Yana titalem, Betchinati. Yeah. תפילתי. האזינה אלוהים תפילתי, ואנא תתעלם, ואנא תתעלם מתחינתי, ואנא תתעלם, ואנא תתעלם מתחינתי. Listen, oh God, and hear my prayer. Don't overlook my plea. Then we shall have wings like a bird, fly and we shall be free. Yum did it, yet it,
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Shabbat Shalom. I am so glad that we are all gathered here together. I know there are awesome friends of Vincent's. Yeah, there they are. They got the Friends of Vincent waves. I like that. Not the act. Don't do the wave, though. So that'd be a little much. And cousins. I was gonna get to you. We have cousins of Vincent and family, and of course members of our congregation. For us, the Sabbath, this Shabbat day, starting last night, is supposed to be a time that we try to gather in as much peace and hope and joy and renewal as we can. And one of the ways we do it is by just gathering together and getting strength and inspiration from each other. And we are so fortunate that many Shabbat services, we are led by our amazing young people like Vincent. We had a little bit of a summer off. Not that summer's done yet, but a little bit of a July off from what we call Beit Mitzvah, Bar and Bat and B'nai Mitzvahs. But now we're back. Vincent's lead off, to use a baseball metaphor. But I actually see in the congregation young people who are in Vincent's class who are going to be having their Bar and Bat Mitzvahs in the weeks and months to come. And so we're all together. And I also know, Vincent, that there are people watching us through the electrons of streaming from near and from far, people in your family, people who find us. They can't get here, but they know this is a place, even from their screen, they can find peace and comfort and hope. And so here we are. It's a good thing. We say Tov Ma'od. It's very, very good. And we're here in the morning. This is a morning service, and morning as well, not just on Shabbat, but every day our tradition teaches is a special time because there's so much potential in the morning. Potential for meeting new people and for adventures and for doing mitzvahs, right? Like doing good deeds and taking care of one another at the start of the day. And so that's why the tradition says that there's a prayer that we're supposed to say as early as possible, right? And for us, for many of us, this is as early as possible right here. And it's a prayer of gratitude. It's right there on page 2. I know, Vincent, you woke up filled with gratitude, right?
Yes.
For this day. And I hope all of us can find our way, even with the challenges in our lives, even with what is difficult and sad even. There are always blessings, and this is a good time to remember what we're grateful for. So we've got a great crew of musicians. We'll have to come up with a name for this band. I don't know if this quartet has ever actually played together, but I'm excited. This is Rabbi Daniel and Leslie and Bryn and Avi are going to kind of help lift us up with song. Rabbi Karen and I are here with Vincent on the bima, and I invite you all to sing or hum or clap along as we sing this morning prayer of gratitude. Modeh, Moda Ani, just being thankful for right now.
We're here to sing with you, not at you.
Modeh ani lefanecha, ruach chai v'kayam, shechazarta v'nishmati b'chemla, Rabba emunatecha, Rabba emunatecha, Rabba emunatecha.
Vincent, I know you know this because I think I probably tell you every single time that we're together. I knew your dad when your dad was your age.
Yeah.
Precisely at that time up in northern Minnesota. And, we continued that connection and that friendship with your family and in Sal's bar mitzvah. And if you look at the back of the Siddur, actually, there's a picture of Vincent holding a guitar. Actually, there's two, but the one in the middle with the long hair, I was part of a ceremony. There's a traditional Jewish ceremony to give someone their first haircut when they're 3 years old. Do you guys ever see pictures of Vince with long hair like that? Friends of Vincent? No. Well, that. And so we had a ceremony and a ritual, and obviously Vincent helped with the music back then. And so we go back a long way.
Yes.
You and I, and your family and I, and your mom. But I'm going to ask your dad to come up and present you with not just a talit, but talesim. You'll see what I mean in just a second.
Okay, so this one. Yeah. So this one was my great grandpa Bernard's talis, and I want you to have this. I've never heard anyone say a bad thing about him, which, knowing our family, is a pretty big deal. It's huge, and it's traditional, and someday, if you decide to get married, you can use it as a chuppah, maybe. This one is a little bit more contemporary, more your style. It's B'nai Or, it's the coat of many colors, and it's a rainbow. And it's symbolic, I think, for you of pride and inclusion and love. And
So put it up. Turn around.
Turn around.
Perfect. Yeah. So stay right here with Vincent, and Vincent is going to say the blessing for the mitzvah, another mitzvah you're doing at the beginning of your bar mitzvah, of wearing the fringes attached to the beautiful rainbow talit. As you lead the service and teach us Torah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ruach ha'olam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotah v'tzivanu lehitatef b'tzitzit.
Amen. Thank you, David. Continuing on page 3, again, I used that Hebrew term in the beginning, tov. These two parts of the service, matovu and hine matov, express how good it is to be here, to be helping celebrate with Vincent, them becoming bar mitzvah, and making sure that we bring even more holiness to this Shabbat. So matovu followed by hine matov.
Yeah.
I want to say just two things. One is, you might notice a chair right next to Marilyn. Raise your hand, Marilyn Rackin. Draped with a talit, similar to the talis that Vincent is wearing, but you know, we're in the age of unique talises. The reason that chair is draped with that talit is because that is the chair of one of our longtime regular members, whose name was Marlene Eisenstein of blessed memory, who passed away a couple of days ago. And Marlene was always in that chair on Saturday morning, and I know she has lots of friends in this community, including our wonderful security guard, James, who always would help Marlene enter into the sanctuary. And we wanted to honor Marlene, part of our family, by making sure that you know, chairs are kind of have an illustrious place in Jewish tradition. Sometimes they're chairs, well, we know Elijah's chair, so I'll leave it at that. That's Marlene's chair. And so we'll say Kaddish for Marlene altogether at the end of the service, but I want to make sure, especially on Saturday morning, where we can really kind of see her and feel her presence, that we recognize those of you that knew her and those of you that never met her know that she was a really important part of our community, and we're thinking about her. Next, you're going to notice a little bit of a difference in the Siddur if you come around here. Every bar and bat mitzvah Siddur is a little different because they're personalized by the family and the student. But Vincent came up to me, I don't know, about a month ago and said, is it possible to change every time it says Melech in the Siddur to Ruach? And Leslie said yay, and that's something I've always kind of favored. The word Ruach means spirit or breath, where the word Melech is king or ruler. So it's a way of describing God. And I didn't say anything to Vincent about that, even though it's something that I've been thinking about for decades. And I asked Vincent, why did they want to use Ruach instead of Melech? And I'm going to kind of let Vincent, we didn't plan this. But, but Vincent used to being on stage. So tell everybody why you decided to switch the adjective.
I thought of it as more of a gender-neutral term because God has no gender. There's no gender of God. God is just a being.
So you have your choice, of course. If Melech is very familiar to you, you're free to say whatever you want. But from the Bima, when Vincent is leading the prayers, not only will they be saying Ruach, but that's also Becky, our wonderful person in the office that works really hard on these Sidurim. Becky made sure that every time Vincent had a Melech, that it was switched to Ruach. So just a little bit of a theological / gender inclusive change, courtesy of our bar mitzvah. And if everyone will turn to page 4 as we continue.
Please chant together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ruach haolam, she'asani b'tzalmo. Blessed are you, the eternal our God, who has created me in your image. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ruach haolam, she'asani ben chorin. Blessed are you, the eternal our God, who has made me free. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ruach haolam, she'asani Yisrael. Blessed are you, the eternal our God, who has made me Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ruach haolam, pokeach ivrim. Blessed are you, the eternal our God, who opens the eyes of the blind. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ruach haolam, malbish arumim. Blessed are you, the eternal our God, who provides clothes for the needy. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ruach haolam, hanoten li'ayav koach. Blessed are you, the eternal our God, who gives strength to the weak. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ruach haolam, asher hechid metzadei gaver. Blessed are you, the eternal our God, who guides the steps of human beings. Page 5, in the words of the ancient Hebrew prophets, we say, hit it!
So hopefully you got your movement out, and we are going to come back together on page 6 for the Chatzi Kaddish, which lets us know that we are moving out of our morning blessings and into what's called the Shema and its blessings, which is the next section that Vincent will be leading us in. But first, we are on page 6.
Yikadav Yikadash Shemei Rabbah Be'alma Divrachute V'yamlich Malchute B'chayechon Uvyomechon Uvchayerecho Be'Yisrael Ba'gala Ba'gala Uvizman Kari V'Imeru Amen Yehi Shmei Rabbah Mevorach Le'olam u'me'omaya, Yitbarach, Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitpa'ar, V'yitchomam, V'yitnaseh, V'yithadar, V'yithaleh, V'yithalal, Shemei Dekudashah B'richu, Le'olam min kol birchata v'shirata, Tushbechata v'nechemata, Damiran be'alma, Vimeru, Amen.
Today, at least you're you, and that's enough. Please rise as we call each other to the prayer with the Baruch Hu.
Yeah.
darkest night will end and the sun will rise.
Ruach atah Adonai, Eloheinu ruach haolam, yotzer or v'rei choshech, oseh shalom v'rei et hakol, hameir la'aretz v'ladarim aleha barachamim, uvtuvo mechadesh b'chol yom tamid ma'aseh bereshit, ma rabu ma'asecha Adonai, kulam b'chochma asita, mala ha'aretz kinyanecha, titbarach Adonai Eloheinu, al shavach ma'aseh yadecha, va'al mo'arei or she'asita yifa'arucha sela, baruch atah Adonai yotzer ha'morot.
Together.
In some special way, every person completes the universe. If I do not play my part, I injure the pattern of all existence. The same stream of life that runs through my veins night and day runs through the world and dances in rhythmic measures. It is the same life that shoots in joy through the dust of the earth in numberless blades of grass and breaks into tumultuous waves of leaves and flowers. It is the same life that is rocked in the ocean cradle of birth and death, in ebb and flow. I feel my limbs are made glorious by the touch of this world of life, and my pride is from the life throb of ages dancing in my blood at this moment.
What is love? 'Tis not hereafter. Present mirth hath present laughter.
What's that called? That's that term with Shakespeare rhythm. What's that called? You did that well.
Oh, thank you.
Continuing on page 9.
We come together as a congregation. For me, the Shema is a way to start and end my day. Please join me in chanting the Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Please be seated.
Ha et Adonai Elohecha, b'chol levacha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha, v'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlektecha v'derech ushokbecha uvkumecha ukshartam le'od al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uv'isharecha למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Together.
You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these words which I command you this day. Teach them diligently to your children. Speak of them when you are at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you arise. Bind them as a sign on your hand, and let them serve as symbols between your eyes. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Remember to do all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I am your God who led you out of Egypt to be your God. I am your God.
I know that we are a people who have crossed many seas. In every service, we remember that the price of freedom is often as great as we sing the same words that our ancestors sang after crossing from slavery to freedom at the shores of another sea.
Yisrael, uvtechu mechayuda b'Yisrael, v'aleinu Adonai tzevot shemot, kadosh Yisrael, baruch atah Adonai, Gal Yisrael.
Page 14. We are marching to the light of God. We are marching
We love it when our music and prayers make people twirl. That's the highest form of prayer, I think.
Yes.
The rabbis say in the Talmud is twirling. So thank you for twirling. And Vincent's going to tell us to.
Please rise.
We're on page 15, beginning the prayers of tefillah, which literally in Hebrew means prayer. Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, Elohei Rachel, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor V'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chazdei Avot V'Imahot, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם לעזרת שרה.
I just noticed this. Yeah, I know. Together. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, and God of our fathers and mothers, God of Abraham, God of Isaac, God of Jacob, God of Sarah,
God of Rebekah, God of Leah, and God of Rachel. You are the great, mighty, and awesome God, God supreme. You bestow good, kind deeds, possess everything, and remember the kind deeds of our fathers and mothers.
With love
You bring redemption to their descendants for the sake of your name. You are our ruler, helper, savior, and shield. Blessed are you, Adonai, shield of Abraham, and help of Sarah. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מכלכל חיים בחסד, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim. Somech noflim berofei cholim. Umatir asurim. Umekayem emunato lishenei afar. Michamocha ba'al givurot. Umidol melach. Melech mimid umechaye umatzmiach Yeshua v'ne'eman ata lahachayot hakol baruch ata Adonai mechaye hakol. On pages 18 and 19, we continue to fill in the spaces between us. Hopefully we're getting used to being with one another. The goal is holiness, to make sure that every single participle that's in this sanctuary is filled with holiness. And that's the name of this prayer, Kedusha. For all that's good and high and holy in the universe, we sing this prayer.
Nekadesh et shimcha ba'olam, Kishem shemakdishim oto b'shmei maron, kakatuv al-yad nevi'echa, v'kara zeh ve'amar, kadosh, 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 Adonai Sevaot, Malok kol haaretz, kivod lo. Adir, adirenu Adonai, Adonenu ma'adir, shimcha b'chol haaretz, baruch kivod Adonai mimkomo. Echad hu Eloheinu, hu Avinu, hu Malkeinu, hu Moshienu, ve'hu Yashmienu, berachamav le'nei kol chai. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Yimloch Adonai le'olam, Elohai Zion, B'dor vador. Hallelujah. Dor vador nagid golecha, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני
האל הקדוש.
Please be seated.
We continue on page 20 with Vishamru, which are actually words taken from the Torah, from the book of Exodus, and it is the commandment of why we are here and why we are observing Shabbat. But Shabbat is so much more than that. It's joy, and it's dancing, and it's celebrating our young people as they mark these moments in their lives. And it's also taking time for ourselves and taking a moment of peace and rest from our very busy week. So Vishamru is here to remind us of all of that.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת, לדור אותם בריתו Shabbat vayitnavash v'shamru b'nei Yisrael etan. Shabbat la'asot era Shabbat ledoratam berit olam v'shamru b'nei Yisrael etan. Shabbat la'asot era Shabbat ledoratam berit olam.
Prayer on page 21 means both labor and service and worship. And so for me, and I think this is the teaching, that both the best work and the best worship is when we serve one another. You know, to be of service, to be of use. To me, that is really part of the point of existence, is how do we serve each other and lift each other up. And so avodah means all of that. Let it be a reminder for us how we're supposed to treat each other and act towards each other and be our best selves for one another.
Together.
You are with us in our prayer, in our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and to do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, and pain clouds our mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service.
A way for me to have a grateful mindset is to think about all the things I have and realize that other things aren't important. I am the one thing in life I can control.
We all can make peace. That's the message here. Like Hamilton, the show, we can control ourselves, and if we all do our part, then we can really bring shalom into the world.
Sing shalom. Sim shalom tova uvracha. Sim shalom
Beautiful. Amen.
Silent meditation is a way for me to cool down and release stress. Sometimes I might think about things on my mind, but other times I just don't think about anything stressful or anything at all. Instead, I focus on my breathing. I invite you to focus on spiritual ideas or just breathe with me for a few minutes.
Vincent said it all. We'll be back.
Say shalom Roma. Yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru.
Ah
Amen. Can't have too many prayers for peace, that's for sure. The next part of our service, of course, is the Torah service. Again, Vincent's been working really hard. Actually, what did you say this morning? Like, this is from second grade. What was your?
Everything since second grade has been leading up to this day.
Imagine that.
No?
Kindergarten and first grade were just kind of fun and games.
Oh yeah, totally.
But second grade, man, it was like, and here you are, right?
Yeah.
That's that. When you have a long-term vision, and it happens, it's an amazing feeling. So soak it all in. Take a look. This is your congregation, and you're going to teach us and help us fulfill the mitzvah of hearing the Torah on Shabbat. So to begin the Torah service, it's an honor to ask cousin Gracie. Which one is Gracie? Oh, hello. You can bring that coat. That looks good. But Gracie's coming, helped by Vincent's brother Saul, who probably the last time you were up here was your own bar mitzvah. Yeah, unbelievable. I remember it well. So the two of you each take a door, and you can open the doors of the ark, and you could, even if you want to pull aside the beautiful screen, and then Gracie, you can have a seat. Thank you. Well done. Sal, you stay up here because your family's going to join you. Get some high fives. Whoa. Okay. But we want to make, so this is Ledor Vador, passing the Torah from generation to generation to Vincent. I'm pleased to ask to come up and join us, Vincent's 3 grandparents. Come on up, and also, of course, your father and your mother. Your brother is already here. This amazing family who we're just so glad to have part of our congregation and our community. So I'm going to help line you up, and then Rabbi Karen is going to help get the Torah passed to Vincent. So let's go. Sal right there. Gaga, right? Gaga, we got Gaga here, people, so come here by me. Aw, that was sweet. Right here, let's face the congregation, and you can turn around his face. And there you go. Come on. Come over here. Yeah, up. And then let's see. Saul next to Vincent. There's Mom. Looks good. Robin over here.
So, Vincent, I know I speak for everyone here when I say it is an honor for all of us to be here to celebrate you today. And especially, look at all these people. These are your people. Look at this. This is so beautiful that you get the Torah passed through all these generations to you. And all of these people also are your people. So take a moment and soak it all in. As you look out and see your community and people who love you and support you, and want to celebrate you today. So we're about to pass you this Torah, and this is a very special Torah. This Torah originally came from Holosov in Czechoslovakia, and it was rescued from the Holocaust. So from like 1939 to 1945, the Nazis tried to kill the Jews, and their idea was to take all the artifacts and put them in a museum so someday people could learn about Jewish life. And we all know that that is not what happened, but when they went in to free everyone and to take everything back, this is one of the Torahs that was found. And they wanted to give it new life. And so we at CRC have it, and we use it for all of our B'nai Mitzvahs because you are the ones who are going to bring life to this Torah. And what an appropriate thing for you, especially because of your Hebrew name, Chaim, which means life. And I know you bring that to all of us every single day. And so we use this Torah for all of our young people because we want to see it celebrated and loved and passed down again. And I know you're going to do wonderful things in this world with your life. And you, like I said, bring so much life to all of us. There we go. So it is my honor to start the Torah and to have it passed down to you.
Vincent, we want to make sure, that's why, the microphone all of a sudden popped up, because we want to make sure everyone hears and learns and listens, because that's what this part of the service is about. But it's also about connection, so soon you'll have a chance to get up and dance again. Everyone can stand together. Please rise. So everyone can connect to each other and to Vincent with the Torah. To make sure that we all sort of have that soaked in, on page 25, Vincent will lead us once again in the chanting of Shema Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
And now if you want to put your books down, your Sidurim on your chair so that your hands are free for clapping, and you can move again if you want, and again, connect to Vincent, connect to the Torah, connect as a community. We're going to start the music when I say Echad, Shtayim, Shalosh, which means 1, 2, 3, go. Standing that they may be
seated.
That's good. That's good. Just want to mention that while Vincent came up here and said, wait, my aunt and cousin were supposed to undress the Torah. And I said, you were having so much fun with the Torah, you missed it. This is actually a different scroll, the one that Rabbi Karen talked about. We keep in the ark. We pass it to our young people. But this is the scroll that we use for regular chanting for bar mitzvahs. So while you all were dancing and celebrating, cousin Aaron and Aunt Kathleen, Vincent's cousin and aunt, came up and helped us get this Torah ready for Vincent to read from it. And also want to recognize, although she'll be coming up here in a second, where's Golda? You moved. That's okay. No, it's you're free. Like that's what Mika Mocha says. But Golda is here, and Golda has been Vincent's tutor. Were you also Saul's tutor? Oh my gosh, wow. Again, generation to generation, kind of. And so Golda is here, and Golda is gracious as a teacher and a friend, and gifts her students with a special yad. So Vincent, show everyone your yad. A yad is the Hebrew word for hand, but it's also the word we use for the tool that we use so we can read the Torah or chant the Torah without touching it, because it's handwritten, and we want to make sure it's kept as pristine as possible, as ancient as it is. And so those are some things I wanted to make sure you all knew, and we're getting ready for the ritual of reading from the Torah, and here comes Rabbi Daniel.
So watching you up here is a pretty special thing. There aren't many folks of any age, I think, who can stand up and be so comfortable and so much themselves up here. Right, look at them. Aren't they just like glowing with themselves? It's pretty amazing. And that tallis and the braces that kind of match the tallis, it's good. So, Rabbi Jim likes to say, this isn't a performance, it's ceremony. Yeah. And it's a beautiful ceremony that we are going to surround you with family, we are going to surround you with love, and you're going to read some of these ancient words that have helped to guide our people for so very long. So it's my honor to start by calling up a whole bunch of members of your family. Ya'amdu, Aunt Abby and Uncle TJ and Golda Bad Wolf Tzviv Ita Lialiaha. And we're also thinking of your Uncle John, who I think is streaming and is home. And Aunt Debbie, who are going to be up here, but they're up here and surrounding you in spirit.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Ambarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Ruach HaOlam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Hamim V'natan Lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai
Noten
HaTorah.
Holy One of blessing, your presence fills creation. You called us with all the peoples and gave us your Torah. Holy One of blessing, you give us Torah.
Ki yachrit Adonai Elohecha et hagoyim asher Adonai Elohecha noten lecha et artsam v'rishta v'yasavta v'arihem uvivavtehem shalosh arim tavti yolach b'toch artecha asher Adonai Elohecha noten lecha l'rishta Tachin lecha haderech v'shileshta et gevul artecha asher yanchilecha Adonai Elohecha v'haya lanu shama korot seyach.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam natap tochenu. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Holy One of blessing, your presence fills creation. You gave us the Torah of truth and planted within us eternal life. Holy One of blessing, you give us Torah.
Amen.
So it's a special thing to have your Hebrew tutor, your B'nai Mitzvah tutor, up here to say the blessings and to hear you read it so beautifully. So we're going to call up your second aliyah, the second group of folks that you're honoring with your reading. Ya'amdu, Papa J, Yehuda, Lev Ben, Baruch, V'chanalea, V'gaga? Gaga, Myrna, Miriam, Sal, your brother, Shalom, Gidel, Gedalia ben David Baruch Verut Lialia ve Grandpa Tim.
Saw that was you, bud. You're Shalom Gedalia. I'll make it. Did you know that?
Baruch Hu es Adonai HaMorah.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol hamim v'notan lanu et Torah. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Tim.
Are you doing the English?
Holy One of blessing, your presence fills creation. You called us from all the peoples and gave us your Torah. Holy One of blessing, you gave us Torah.
Amen.
Go for it.
Okay, you start with the sad.
V'zeh devar harotzeach, asher yanu shama v'chai, asher yakeh re'ehu b'li da'at, v'hu lo sonei lo midmo shilshom, v'asher yavo re'ehu v'yalach tov itzim, v'nidcha yado v'garzen l'chrot ha'etz, v'nashal habarzel min ha'etz, v'matzah re'ehu v'amet hu yanus elechat arim ha'ele v'chai. Pen yudov goel hadam acharei harutzeach ki echam levavo v'hisigo kir behaderech v'hikahu nafesh v'lo ein mishpat mavet ki lo sonei hu lo midmo shilshom. Al kain anochin mitzavecha lemor shalosh arim tavtil lach.
Nice job.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu ruach haolam asher natan lanu Torah emes v'chai olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Asher Koach. Grandpa Tim.
Holy One of blessing, your presence fills creation. You gave us the Torah of truth and planted us with eternal life. Holy One of blessing, you gave us Torah.
Amen.
So if you want to give him a little hug or because now, Vincent, we are going to call you up. We're going to invite your folks up here too. So this is a special moment, the first time that we call you to the Torah, the first time that we recognize you as an adult in our community. You know, Vincent, we are going to look at you for so long to teach us. I think I can tell just by looking at your parents and looking at these folks here, you have already taught many of us so many things. And so we look forward to so many more lessons. Ya'amod Chaim Emmanuel ben David Verut Habnei Mitzvah Li'aliyah.
Baruch Hu Adonai HaMorah.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu ruach haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Double duty here. Go for it.
Ve'im yarchi Adonai Elohecha et givol lecha ka'asher nishba la'avotecha v'natan lecha et kol ha'aretz asher diber la'tet la'avotecha כי תשמור את כל המצווה הזאת לעשיתו, אשר אנוכי מצווך היום, לאהבה את אדוני אלוהיך, וללכת בדרכה כל הימים, ויספת לך עוד 3 ערים על 3 האלה, ולא תשפך דם נקי בקרב ארצך אשר אדוני אלוהיך נותן לך נחלה, והיה עליך דמים.
Right here, actually, I'll let you stay right here.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו רוח העולם, אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Nice job. Turn around to your folks. Kol hakavod, so much honor to you. Just kind of whatever you want to. Yeah, you guys can. There you. I knew something was going to happen. Oh my, really? And you guys can have a seat. Always have their back. I know that's for sure, right? Your folks. Wow, with such incredible deliberation, so deliberate, you chanted those words. I just watched you point your yad at every single word, and every one of them really kind of rang true because of the way you chanted, Vincent. So you have opened up our hearts from the very beginning of this service, and for some of you way before, right, since you got to know Vincent, opened up our hearts to hope and to possibility. And I think that's why in the tradition we insert into this moment, this precise moment, prayers for healing. We want to make sure that we remember and think about the people in our lives who could use a healing touch. And so we have some people that we're thinking of when it comes to healing prayers, that we want to put their names into this congregation so you can add them to your prayers. And I know all of you have people you're thinking about when it comes to healing. So I invite you to kind of hold their names in your head and your heart, and maybe some people here could use some healing. We say not only of body, but mind and spirit too. So in some sense, we could all use a healing touch and a healing prayer. But I do want to name some names of people. Our friend Fran Lang is asking for healing prayers. We're praying for Chaim Lev ben Simcha Miriam. We're praying for Michal to have a refuah shlema. Our friend and member Jill Hollifield for continued healing. For Bet Miller, who is Jennifer Hillman's mom, and I visited Bet over at Siteman just last Saturday, actually, right after services. And we spent some time together. She's delightful, and she's fighting. She's fighting really hard, and she loved the fact that we were praying for her at CRC. For Steve Loomstein, who's I think doing great. I'm sure he might be watching on the stream. For Gary Sewell, who actually is another member of CRC who was like 3 floors above Bet. And I visited him on the same day, and Gary and Bet have met one another. They didn't know each other before their time at the hospital, but they've connected, and they're fighting for each other, and we're praying for them. And I just want to add Eileen Ehrlich. It says, Eileen's seat is right about there, David, where you are. And we can't wait, Eileen, till you're back in your chair, and we always are praying for your recovery. So the prayer itself is on page 27, and then the end of it's on page 28. So please sing with our wonderful musicians and our congregation. Think about the people on the list and the people that you know could use a healing touch with Misha Berach. Stand right here for a second.
Misha Berach.
We all can be healers. Every one of us, medical professionals, but also those of us that are not. We can help with healing, spiritual healing, especially with those who are suffering. And so on page 28 is what's called the Chatimah, the part of the prayer that we hope seals it. For the people who are ill and suffering and need our prayers, but also seals it for us so that we can be determined to do what we can for people that need us. So let's say that together. Baruch atah Adonai Rofei HaCholim. Blessed is the Holy One who helps us find ways to be healing agents for those who are ill. And let us say, Amen. And Vincent, now continuing on with the Torah service, every Torah portion has a Haftorah, a portion from the books of the prophets. And we are in this period of time. We just had Rosh Chodesh, the new month of Elul, which is our preparation month. What are we preparing for? We're preparing for the high holidays, less than a month away, for those of us who observe Rosh Hashanah. And so the tradition says you can't just jump into a new year without a little preparation. And so the month is set aside to really kind of do what we call a cheshbon nefesh, kind of an accounting of our souls, figure out where we're doing great and where we need a little improvement. So when we enter the new year and then the Day of Atonement, Yom Kippur, we do it ready. I'm really ready to jump in and to make it a good year, a new year. And part of that are what's selected to be read and chanted in the weeks that precede Rosh Hashanah. And so the prophet Isaiah, the book of Isaiah, which is really 3 people named Isaiah, most of the scholars believe, but the book of Isaiah encompasses a lot of pages and a lot of wisdom and a lot of instruction. And so we read Isaiah a lot in these weeks before Rosh Hashanah, and then we'll read Isaiah again during the high holidays. So Vincent not only learned their Torah portion, but they learned Haftorah as well from the book of Isaiah. You can follow along with Vincent on page 28, the blessing before, the actual passage, and then on page 29, the blessing after. And then you're going to hear Vincent's commentary, what this all means to them, and what they hope it means for all of us who are privileged to be here on this Shabbat where Vincent becomes bar mitzvah. So, you ready? I know you are. Go for it.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ruach haolam asher bachar b'nvi'im tovim v'radsa v'divrehem hane'amarim be'emet Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'Torah u'shecha Yisrael amo u'vinvi'ei ha'emet v'tzedek Anochin hu menamchemchem miyad v'tir'i meno hosh yamut umi ben adam chatzir yinaten v'tishkach Adonai osecha notet shemayim v'yosed aretz v'tvachid tamid kol hayom mipnei chamat hametzik כאשר קונה להשחית ואיה חמת המציק מהצועה להיפתח ולא ימות לשחת ולא יחסר לחמו ואנוכי אדוני אלוהיך רוגע הים ואהמו גליו Adonai Tzevarot Shemo V'asim divra baficha utseo yadid kiziticha linto washamayim velisod aretz velemur letzion ami ata. Baruch ata Adonai ruach Eloheinu ruach haolam tzor kol haolamim tzadik b'kol hadorot al hanaman haomer umoseh hamdaber umkaye shekol devaran emet v'tzedek. Baruch ata Adonai mikadesh HaShabbat.
Amen. Nice and slow. You ready for it? It's all yours.
All right.
Just take water before you start.
Sure. Yes.
Mayim Chayim. Stuff of life. There we go.
All right. Hello, and thank you all for coming. I would like to start by sharing what the Torah portion I just chanted from means. The Torah portion for this Shabbat is called Shoftim, which means judges. There is a famous line in my portion, Tzedek, Tzedek, Tirdov, which means justice, justice you shall pursue. Therefore, it makes sense that most of the material in my portion has something to do with the justice system of its time. The part that interested me the most was the idea of the cities of refuge. Moses instructed the people that in the Promised Land, 3 cities of refuge were to be built, so that any accidental killer may have a place to flee to. They would flee to one of these cities to escape vigilante justice from those who might want to attempt to take matters into their own hands. Someone close to the victim, like a family member, could seek out the accused and try to kill them as well. This would happen outside any legal authority and would be illegal itself. I would like to quote from my portion. Otherwise, when the distance is great, the blood avenger, pursuing the killer in hot anger, may overtake him and strike him down, yet he did not incur the death penalty since he had never been the other's enemy. These cities of refuge help the accused in this instance so that they would be protected from the blood avenger. Then a legal trial could take place that would determine the innocence or guilt of the accused killer. Cities of refuge allow for justice because they give any accused killer a place to flee to when they aren't safe. Cities of refuge allow for justice because they provide more fairness and everyone deserves a fair trial. Of course, today there aren't cities of refuge to go to if you accidentally kill someone. Today that's more like how we use jails. When people are accused of murder, they go there to await their trial, and society is protected from them in case they were truly guilty. We still use the word refuge in the term refugee, people whose homes have become unsafe. Thankfully, our society tries to provide places of refuge today for people to go to if their own home is dangerous. For example, refugee camps serve as a type of city of refuge. Many people seek asylum because they can no longer stay in their own homes. They cannot receive tzedek, justice, in case you forgot. They leave in search of a country where they will finally feel safe. There are many Syrian refugee camps because of the current war happening there. These are places for the refugees to flee to because their homes are at risk of being bombed by Bashar al-Assad or shot up by the Taliban. Fortunately, there are organizations like HIAS, which stands for the Hebrew Immigrant Aid Society, an organization that was founded by the Jewish community that helps people of all religions and cultures settle into America. HIAS has been around for more than 100 years and help immigrants from over 20 countries. They actually helped my own great-grandparents when they fled to St. Louis for safety in the early 1900s. CRC is partnered with HIAS, and a group of synagogue members are helping a family who fled to the repressive government in Afghanistan and a couple in Crimea who had to leave their home because of the current war in Ukraine. I talked to Joyce Sternick, one of the volunteers who helped the refugees settle into St. Louis. She and the group assisted the Afghani family and the Ukrainian couple with necessities such as food, housing, and clothing. They also helped teach them the ways of life in their new country, America. In the process, members of our synagogue and the people who needed refuge have all become good friends. There is more information in the last page of your Siddur about how we can help this effort under My Mitzvah project. While the idea of cities of refuge in the past, there are still refugees who need shelters of peace. This is how the ancient stories of the Torah can still teach us how to care for each other right now. Shabbat Shalom.
Yasher Koach. Oh, Vincent. Well, first of all, beautiful job. Really, the service is still going on. There's a little bit left, but you've done everything we asked you to do, Vincent, and more, to lead us in prayer, which is such a big deal. People come here for all different reasons, from all walks of life, and they walk in search of a place that feels comfortable and peaceful and hopeful. And as one of the prayer leaders, you helped create that atmosphere, and you did that in an outstanding way. And then to chant from the Torah and your Haftorah, and then to give this message about safety, about refuge, to take the ancient teachings of the Torah, as you said, and to say, this is needed right now. We might not call them cities of refuge, but people still need safe places if where they come from has turned dangerous. And you shouted out Joy, who I know the two of you spent some time talking about the program we have at CRC to try to do what we can to support refugees, people that come to this country fleeing, just like the people in the cities of refuge, fleeing for their lives and looking for a place that will take them in. I just have to also mention, I don't want to embarrass them, but Bryn, who's one in our band, is Joy's granddaughter. Did you know that? Mm-hmm. Because I told you.
Yes.
Yeah.
You guys have told me.
Yeah. And Jamie is here, Bryn's mom and Joy's daughter, who leads a wonderful grief group at CRC. And Bryn's dad, David, Jamie's husband, is our treasurer. So talk about like a family who, serves others and serves CRC. So I'm so glad you got to connect. Now you're like friends for life, right? And also that you're going to be helping out with the program, and maybe even getting to know the families, the people who we've been supporting is wonderful. So all I really want to say is this whole idea of safety and refuge and refugees, the Torah, the cities of refuge isn't the only part of the Torah that we get that message. Time and time again, Vincent, it says in the Torah, not in your portion, but in many portions, we are commanded, that's a strong word, commanded to, the word is ger, and what it means is really outsider. We are supposed to do everything we can if there's someone who's outside, whether some new kid in school, for your friends, or someone new to this country, someone who's feeling ostracized or left out. Talk about, your rainbow talit and the LGBT community. And we're commanded to help make outsiders feel like, what do you think? Insiders.
Yeah.
Right? It says it over and over and over again. And the Jewish people ourselves have gone through many periods of history where we're the outsiders, and we know what it's like. And so the Torah further says to have empathy. So if we see others that are experiencing what our people have experienced, which great grandparent?
Grandfather?
Your great grandfather experienced. If we see that, we're supposed to do everything we can to help, to serve. And that includes what we're doing with Hayas, as you so beautifully said. So I thought of something this morning. I had the privilege last spring of traveling to New York City with the 10th grade class, the confirmation, which in a few years you'll be eligible for, you and your classmates. Don't want time to go by too quickly, but it's an amazing trip. And the first thing we do is go to the Statue of Liberty. Have you been there?
Nope.
10th grade.
Okay.
All right. And there's a poem that's inscribed at the statue. The Statue of Liberty was there to literally welcome people, refugees and immigrants who were coming to our country, many of them escaping oppression and persecution, many of them Jewish. And a Jewish woman named Emma Lazarus wrote a poem, And that is right there at the Statue of Liberty. And I wanted to read it because I think it says, it is such a perfect coda to your commentary and to everything we know we're supposed to be doing as human beings, as Jews. Not like the brazen giant of Greek fame, with conquering limbs astride from land to land, here at our sea-washed sunset gates shall stand a mighty woman with a torch, whose flame is the imprisoned lightning and her name Mother of Exiles. From her beacon hand glows worldwide welcome. Her mild eyes command the air-bridged harbor that twin cities frame. Keep ancient lands your storied pomp, cries her with silent lips. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. Don't let anyone tell you that Jewish tradition, that American tradition, doesn't teach us to welcome people, not reject people. And you are going to be part of that incredible tradition. So I'm going to give you a blessing, and you got more blessings to come. I'm going to put this rainbow tallis so you can just kind of like spend a little time there. Let that kind of be a city of refuge, you know? Deep breath. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ruach ha'olam shehecheyanu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Amen. Blessed is the Holy One whose presence fills creation. You gave us our lives, you kept us alive, and you brought us to Lazman Hazeh, this moment of you becoming bar mitzvah in front of this amazing community that loves you so much. This moment filled with holiness and amazingness, I'm so glad that we reached this time together. Amen. And Mazel Tov. Your congregation, Vincent, CRC, is just so proud of you, and we wanted to express that. We have a wonderful board of directors who helps guide our congregation, and this is David Newberger, a member of our board, who's here to talk to you with words of gratitude and gifts because of what you've done for us. So David. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Vincent, it is a great pleasure to meet you and to hear to you today. One of the things that the congregation does is it arranges to have 2 trees planted in Israel, one in largely Jewish neighborhoods and one in largely Palestinian neighborhoods, with the hope that there will be both justice and peace and democracy in both communities. And so I'm proud that we can provide that to you, and this is a certificate that shows that. The other gift that we have you is called a tzedakah jar. And tzedakah, as you know, is the process of giving. But what you've already shown today that you understand and that I really very much appreciate, giving is not just money. You need support. But giving is the things we do in our lives to support people all over. And I congratulate you on that. You fully understand that and keep your life going. Congratulations.
Amen. Shabbat Shalom. All right, Vincent, we are moving towards the conclusion here. And so as we prepare to put the Torah away, I'm going to ask, we have to open the ark. We have, again, Cousin Grace. She's still with us here. Yeah, come. And Sal, you want to come up and assist with Grace. And I'm going to ask, again, Aunt Kathleen, right, and Cousin Aaron to come up to help dress the Torah. And now, Vincent, you can tell everyone together who is seated, they can, please.
Rise.
Yep. We are on page 30, words from the biblical proverb that tells us what Vincent already told us, that the Torah is a living tree of life. Who's that first? Who's that?
It's Chaim Machzikim ba v'tomcheha meushar diracheha darchei noam v'chol netivoteha Hashivenu Adonai Elecha v'nashuva Chadesh Chadesh Amenu Chadesh Amenu
Please be seated.
Okay, so we have a few announcements that I want to make sure is on everybody's agenda, if you're interested. And then, of course, we conclude the service before our closing blessings to Vincent. We conclude the service with the recitation of the Kaddish to remember those who came before us, who've passed away, but who are still part of our hearts and souls. But a few important announcements having to do with CRC. We have this wonderful Mitzvah garden, Mitzvah farm we call it. Lisa's a big part of it, a lot of volunteers. All the food and produce that's grown in our farm goes to feed our neighbors who are food insecure through our partners at Trinity Episcopal Church. And generally every Sunday we have volunteers. It's amazing. You're invited to come. Sunday, what is it, usually from 6 to 8? No experience necessary. There's a lot of people with experience that will find something for you to do to help out. But this Sunday, alas, there will be no gardening volunteering because it's supposed to be like 100+ degrees, right? So we want to give people a break. We hope the land, we took a year off of farming last year because it was a sabbatical, and we really believe it helped heal the land. It's producing so much. So we hope that it heals from the heat and that everybody kind of stays safe. So no gardening, that was a long way to say. No mitzvah gardening this coming Sunday due to the heat. I could have just said that, but yeah. So then tomorrow, also Sunday, still Sunday, we have a meeting. Rabbi Karen will be there, and Nancy Weigley will be there, which is a new member brunch. This is for new and prospective members to CRC. We kind of ask everyone to attend this brunch to learn more about who we are. We want to learn more about who you are. So, and there will be food, right, Nancy? Food, yeah. So, if some of you longtime members might sneak in and pretend you're new members to get the food. I don't know. 10 o'clock tomorrow. And then finally, next week, I want to make sure everyone knows. I know there's some people that are not part of the community, but many of you are. We have our congregational meeting next Saturday, a week from today. We're going to have a sort of a truncated, shortened Shabbat service. And that'll be followed by a really wonderful kind of coming together as a congregation. We've got some new board members we want to introduce you to. We've got some board members who are leaving, who we want to honor. And we're going to hear from our outgoing president, our incoming president, and we want to give great thanks and honor to Nancy, who's moving on, not as a member of CRC, but as an employee of CRC. So we're going to have some special blessings, maybe even, well, I won't give it away. Special stuff for Nancy. So come to our annual meeting. 10 o'clock's the service, and as soon as that service is over, judging by the way I talk, I'm going to try to curtail myself, but we're hoping by 11:15 or so, we'll start with the annual meeting. So I think those are the main CRC announcements. There's not a grief group today, right, Jamie? That was last Saturday. And next Saturday. All right, well, next Saturday, again, is it hybrid? Virtual. So check out our website for information about how to join the grief support group next Saturday virtually. Okay, I think those are the announcements. And so now we're turning our attention again to those that we've loved and lost. And Vincent has not only some remembrances, but I'm sure you've noticed a theme in Vincent's, what they've added as kavanah, a lot of them from shows, and that's Vincent's passion. So a quote from a show, and then remembrances of people from your family.
Because I knew you, I have been changed for good. At this time, I'd like to remember my grandmother and great-grandmother, Terry Logan and Joanne Taylor. They both taught me the importance of kindness and respect, and they carry them in my heart every day. Family and family meals were extremely important to them, and their legacy carries on through the recipes they created and shared for special occasions like Thanksgiving and Christmas. I will never forget them.
May their memories be a blessing. We also, as a congregation, are remembering people collectively, and I want to say some of their names. This weekend is the yahrzeit, the anniversary of the deaths and passing of Asna Androfi and Joshua Jacobs, and Bessie Schlesinger, and Evelyn Sherman, Joan Zucker, Mark Shapiro, and Robert Gorin. Also Dorothy Lustgarten Rikus, who was Linda Rikus' mother. So those are the yahrzeits. Now I'd like to ask if anyone is here in the congregation that would like to stand and say names for Kaddish, to please stand so we can recognize you as a mourner and hear the names of the people you're remembering. And we'll start, Vincent, with your teacher, Golda. We remember her with you. Thank you. Mel. Oh my gosh, Mel. David passed away. Oh, we are, because of Mel, really, we're partners with this wonderful organization called Room at the Inn. It's a homeless shelter. And I'm so sorry that their executive director passed away. Thank you for saying his name. Nancy? All those people that lost their lives in Hawaii, thank you for bringing them to our hearts. Amy? Thank you for Linda Randall, Dr. Linda Randall, your mother-in-law and my mom. Yeah. Susan. Roger Goldman. We're in the house that Roger built, right? You know, we all built it, but Roger was our leader, you know, and first president, and he and his wife Stephanie made this idea a reality. So, and your friend for Roger, thank you. Lisa. For Marlene Eisenstein, her chair over there, and her spirit. She was also Mariah's great aunt, our own Mariah, and we're going to miss her a lot. And you guys helped take such good care of her. You really did. So God bless you both for that. And Margie. Yeah, for your dad, Zikrono Livracha. And right next to you, Nancy, for your wonderful mom, Zikrona Livracha. And Andrea, what a trio. For Paul Michelle. Anyone from the stream back there, Michael? Okay, so let's ask everyone to stand with our mourners, shoulder to shoulder. I'm going to have a few more names of people who have passed away in this last year, and then we'll say Kaddish for all of them. Remembering, as we said, Marlene Eisenstein and Mindy Kaiser and Paul Schumer, a regular at Torah Study, and Margie Buxner and Roger Goldman, Susanna Mondello and Morton Ornstein, Joy Lieberman's brother, Gary Morris, Margie Weissman's father, and Sarah Kessler, Andy Poltman, the brother of Brian and a brother also of Paula, Susan Hockman and Tovia Siegel, Sarah's mom, Maurice Varon and Hilda Polsky, Aaron Coman and Matt Blickenstaff, Beverly Bronwyn McWilliams, for Sue Smith, Carl's wife, Dr. Moisey Shopper, Stephanie Buchler, Toby's sister, Lila Rosenblum, Jack, that's your grandma, and where's Jack? Hi, Jack. Jack's bar mitzvah is the next bar mitzvah, Labor Day weekend. So we're remembering your grandma of blessed memory. She'll be here at your bar mitzvah, you know that, right? Yeah. Marsha Wuffsey, Leah Larson, Ben Neiman and Jay Summer, Lois Loomstein, Steve's mom, and Kathy Lass, a wonderful neighbor and member of CRC, Maurice Guller and Gloria Sirkin, Bert Newman, David Adelstein, Harriet's husband and Cheryl's dad, Lois Chait and the poet, Nikki Nymark, Marta Weinberg, also lives, Rebel's mom, Rebel, lives down the street, so I hope they hear us sing Kaddish for Mario's mom. Stuart Milner and Bruce Schneider, and we're nearing the yahrzeit of Daniel Williams, who was Stephanie's husband and Flannery's dad, and Flannery had her bat mitzvah, in the weeks and months following her dad's death, and we love that family very much, and remembering Daniel on his yahrzeit. So with all those names in our heads and our hearts, with Vincent and Rabbi Karen, Rabbi Daniel, and all of us, let's remember them in our way, the Jewish traditional way, by reciting the Mourner's Kaddish, which you can find together on page 32. We say, Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra kirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chaye echon uv'yom echon, uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, v'agala v'zman kari v'emru amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba Mivarach Leolam Olmei Almaya Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitromam V'yitnaseh V'yithadar V'yitaleh V'yitalal Shmei Dekudesha B'richu Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'shirata Tush B'chata V'nechemata Da'amiran Be'alma V'imru Amen. Yehei Shlam Rabba Min Shemaya V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, Yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen.
Please be seated.
One more time, we do have, as I said, closing blessings, and these are really poignant blessings. The ones, of course, from your mom and your dad, who are going to come up and give you their words of love and of blessings. So Jen and David, come on up. Vincent, you turn to receive.
Dear Vince, first on this day of your bar mitzvah, thank you for your beautiful teaching. I think anyone who knows you are always teaching us something. Just the other day when we were making hummus for the party, you showed me how to properly open a can of garbanzo beans. Who knew I'd been doing it incorrectly all these years? And showing me this hack, looked up with a look of satisfaction. See what you can learn from YouTube? We all caught a glimpse of this when you were much younger. When you were 5, maybe 6, you emphatically proclaimed that 22 was your favorite number. I then, in that weird thing that parents of preschoolers do, made that faux quizzical expression with the cock of my head. I wonder why. Is that because your birthday is June 22nd? You looked up at me with your big wide eyes and said, that's just one reason. Why else? Now I was genuinely stumped. You went on, well, V is the 22nd letter of the alphabet, to which I responded mentally, A, B, C, D. I said, how about that? And he said, but do you want to know the most important reason that 22 is my favorite number? I felt my eyes go big and wide, because Stravinsky's Firebird is in 22 parts. I think I might have said something to your dad like, uh-oh, I think we're in trouble.
Beyond household hacks and modernist composers, you are always teaching us something, whether proclamations or by example. As we've talked about, the concept of cities of refuge emerged as a highlight in your Torah portion, coincided with your recent immersion into social justice and contemporary issues, and conversations of equity, diversity, and inclusion as part of your experience in St. Louis's camp cultural leadership was such a fortuitous and poetic coincidence. It's amazing that some of your teachers have recognized this light in you, endorsing and supporting your participation and to represent the middle school community. And of course, that one of the many field trips was a visit to CRC where you assisted Rabbi Randy in hosting the group, many of whom had not been to a synagogue before. And so proud that you will continue this work in working with Rabbi Randy this year in the 7th grade program. Your talent, curiosity, and commitment to learning is only matched by your big heart. You just emanate kindness. How gentle you are with every animal you encounter, from your 2 giant hairy dogs to the ladybug you lifted off my bathrobe and released outside, to the younger kids in the children's ensemble at the rep, and your generous heart, whether baking and sharing your amazing Milk Bar cakes and cookies, to leading piano sing-alongs like last night's Rocket Man. You bring everyone together through creative expression and love. On this day of your bar mitzvah, I hope you are feeling all the love and support in the sanctuary. Thank you for teaching us today and in all the days to come. I love you.
Vincent, I guess somehow I owe it to you to give you a blessing because you've been one of the biggest blessings in my life since you were born. They say parents shouldn't wish away the years, but I can't wait to see what amazing things you do with the gifts that you have. I've learned a few things since my bar mitzvah. In life, you can either float with the tide or swim toward a goal. You can't swim all the time. You'll wear yourself out. So it's important to know what to swim for and be smart about it. Floating is fun and important, but I hope you enjoy the swim too. Please take care of that big heart of yours. In your teaching, you focused on the plight of refugees, and thanks to CRC, Joy, and your beautiful empathetic heart, you have a passion to help refugees in St. Louis. We spent a lot of time talking about mitzvahs, tikkun olam, and your responsibility to repair the world. Be patient with this. You can't do it all at once, but you can do it all the time. Make sure to leave everything better than how you found it. It doesn't matter if it's a person, a room, a situation, or a campsite. Use that big heart to be generous, caring, compassionate, passionate, giving, and forgiving. Keep an open mind. Life is one long lesson. Don't worry about the past or the future. Keep your focus on the now. But do make goals for yourself, or circumstances will make them for you. Set lofty goals. You'll surprise yourself with what you can accomplish. The trick is to believe in yourself. Know that you can do anything you set your mind to. I know you know that this is true because I've seen you do it with theater, music, and school. But don't just focus on the goals. There's a lot of joy between where you start and where you want to be. Savor every step. The most important goal you'll have isn't tangible. It's not important what you want to be when you grow up. That really doesn't matter. The question is, who do you want to be when you grow up? And that answer is simple. Be yourself. Don't compare yourself to anyone else. Just be your very best self. And I hope God blesses you with a long, meaningful, joyful life full of peace and love. I love you, sweet child.
I'll take Vincent's role just for a second. Please rise. And Solomon, come on, join us. Join your family.
So come on in. We have a couple more blessings. The first is over some wine, so we can add just a little more sweetness to this already wonderful day. Baruch
atah Adonai
Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. You may take a sip.
Amen. L'chaim, right? Like your name. Yeah.
It's grape juice? Oh, okay.
Yes, it is grape juice.
Do you want some more?
But it's
then?
also fruit of the vine. So.
And because we always have enough to share and we always want to share what we have with others, we say a blessing over the challah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. You can have a piece if you want it.
Yeah, have a piece. We're going to share it with everybody. The family and Gaga want to make sure we all know that everyone's invited for lunch. John Dunn, our buddy, wonderful John Dunn, has created and has set out a lunch for everyone for Shabbat in celebration of Vincent becoming bar mitzvah, right? So last thing we do is we put our arms around each other, put our arms around our newest bar mitzvah, Vincent, as your family's doing. And just grateful that we could be together, and grateful for you, Vincent, and for all of you, so that we can take the peace and the holiness from this service and bring it outside of these doors to help transform the world, so it can be more like this sanctuary, more filled with love. That's our prayer. We say, Yivrechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you always. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
And may we take some of the light and love that you have brought to us today, and may we spread it out into our world.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
And most of all, because of you and the Torah you have taught us and the Torah that you teach to this whole world, may this whole place be a more peaceful place. May our lives be peaceful. May our city and our nation and our world be peaceful. And we say,
Amen. And Shabbat Shalom. And Mazel Tov to Vincent. Mazel Tov.
Simen Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simen Tov, Simen Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simen Tov, Simen Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simen Tov, Yelanu. Simen Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simen Tov, Simen Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simen Tov, Simen Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simen Tov, Yelanu, 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 Ulecho Yisrael, Yelanu, Yelanu, Ulecho Yisrael. Mazal tov, mazal tov, simen tov, yelanu.
That's going to be your brother soon.